Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
Oh, we're out of music. Well, let's try that again.
Artlist.io.
Switch it up a little bit.
Artlist.io.
I don't know that I like this. It's too mellow.
Music licensing reimagined.
All right, let's be done with the music. All my music choices disappeared from the last time I went live. So who knows? Who knows? All right. How many different Facebook groups are you in? How many different Facebook groups are you in? And let's just, I don't want you to count like I'm in, 1,200 different groups. I mean, are you active in? Like you want to be in there, you're a participating member, maybe you contribute every now and then. How many of those groups do you have? Next question is, are you getting results in those groups? Are you getting leads? Are you getting people that are following you? Are you getting comments? Are you getting people that may message you or even buy things? I did a poll. Was that this week? Yeah, I did a poll this week and talked about what's happening in the groups that you're in. And 52% of you said that you are occasionally posting in these groups, but you're not getting any engagement. You're not getting all of the things that you want. And so when that happens, we tend to go, yeah, I'm not going to do that anymore because it doesn't benefit me, right? 36% of you, 36%, I don't have this number on screen, but 36% of you said, I am commenting only in those groups, but I'm not posting. So what we want to talk about today is how do you start posting in those groups And how do you make the most of it? In other words, how do you get the results that you want out of that activity? What are the right activities that you can be doing? And how do you get the whole thing kind of turning and moving and going like you want it to? Okay. If you don't know me, if you're new to me, my name is Jamie Hain. I am a video and growth coach. And I will tell you that the very first time, well, actually, let me tell you this story instead. I went live in somebody else's group, and it was crickets, totally dead. Those of you that are on my email list, you've heard this story. It went out in email yesterday, I think. No comments, no views, nobody showed up live. And I kind of sat there and I went, oh, this is broken. Facebook is broken. And those of you that know me and tune into my lives or watch the replays of my lives, that probably maybe makes you go, Jamie got nobody coming on. Jamie got nobody comments. Because it's one of the things that I think I have really mastered. And it's something that I teach you and teach my clients to be able to do. So to be in somebody else's group and to get that reaction, it was kind of like, whoa, what is happening? And what I realized is that I failed to do some things that are critically important. And that is what you are going to learn today. Okay. Now, before we get into all of these different types of posts that you can do, it's important for you to understand that every single group is different, which just makes this a little confusing, right? It makes it a little bit harder. So when you go back and you look at how many people were active, in fact, let me see what we had here. How many groups are you active in? 1, 5, 2, no. Okay, good. I'm glad that it's a smaller number. It should be. If you are trying to be active in 45 different groups, you're not going to get the traction that you want. And so the better thing that you want to do is be active in fewer groups and make the most of it. What you got to realize is that all of those groups, let's say it's what I recommend to my clients is 3. In those groups that you're choosing to be active in, it's going to be easier for you to remember what the rules are in that group if you only have a handful of them. If you're trying to be active in more of them, you're going to need some sort of spreadsheet or tracker. Okay, you can always go and look at the rules in the group, but not every group posts those rules. And so that just makes it a little bit more, confusing maybe. Okay, so what you got to do is, and by the way, I'm glad this came up because I forgot about this. I'm not talking about paying to promote in groups. This is just groups that you are an active member in for free. Some groups will allow you to post in those groups. Some groups make you pay to promote in those groups or pay to post in those groups, regardless of whether you are just a member in the community or you're part of the paid VIP kind of upgrade. What you're going to learn today still matters. Just because you are paying the host in that group doesn't mean that your posts are going to get more reach. They're not. There's no way to change that setting. The only thing that you can do to change it is to be more active. You have to be active in those groups. What does active mean? It means commenting on other people's posts, responding to comments, commenting to other people. It means putting your own posts out there. It doesn't have to be to the same level that you are active in your own community, but it should be somewhat active. Especially if you're going to be going live in those communities. We talked about this last month in one of the videos. You definitely want to be super active before going live or nobody's going to show up. That was the mistake that I made. I hadn't been in that group for weeks and then I went live and then I got nothing. So it was all that time and energy that I put into planning that live for no gain. Okay. So you want to be active by commenting, posting regularly. What does regularly mean? Once a week, minimum. That's if you're posting. You want to post something once a week in the groups that you can. If you can post more, great. But most important is commenting on other things, other posts that the host is putting up or that other people are posting, okay? That's what sort of gets the algorithm ball rolling. The way that the algorithm works is it looks at it and says, okay, these people like this person's content. This person is commenting on these people. It connects the two and it's going to show it to more people. That's what you're wanting to achieve. Okay. Okay. Let's talk now about the different types of posts that you can put in other people's groups. Now, I will tell you again, this is a generic explanation. This is what I do in my group. There are other groups that might have different rules, so we'll talk about that as we go. Okay, so we are going to talk about intro posts, value posts, engagement posts, and promotional posts. What the heck is the difference, and what is the goal, and what are you trying to do, and kind of some ins and outs in each of those. We're going to start with the intro post. Most groups allow you to do an intro post. Some groups allow you to do more than one. Inside of in this group, in the Get Visible group, you can do an intro post once a month. Other groups might only let you do one when you first join. So you want to be able to take advantage of that. If you're not sure of the rules, look them up, ask an admin. But the objective behind the intro post is for you to introduce yourself to the members in this community and to connect with new people. That's why doing an intro post again and again and again, where it's possible, allows you to meet new and different people, which is what you're trying to do. Okay? Now, in the intro post itself, my recommendation is use a photo over a graphic. If you're not sure why, I did a video not too long ago talking about how different types of posts rank in terms of the algorithm. If you've not watched that video and you want it, let me know. Type the word graphic in the comments and I will get you that link. But just so that you know, I'll give you the quick version, okay? Graphics that you create in Canva or anywhere else are low on the list. They do not get much reach, mostly because the users see graphics and all that text and we think promotion. A photo of you, a nice photo of you going, or whatever you want to do in your photo, is going to get way more attention by the users, okay? The users drive the algorithm behavior. So the algorithm has lowered the priority on graphics because that's what the user's activity is telling them they want. That's what they want to see in their feed, okay? So photo of you over a graphic. You want to make sure that you share something fun about you. It doesn't have to be fun like I once climbed Mount Everest. I didn't. But something that people can connect with you on, because you want to bring your whole self to this group. You are a contributing, active participant in this group. You're not just here to pitch your stuff. You're here to connect. Well, what connects? Something personal. So share some sort of fun fact. Share your favorite TV show. Share how many kids you have. Some interesting fact about yourself. Some weird thing that you've got going on. Whatever it is. Like, I can whistle through my nose. I don't know if that's the thing, but that's what you want to share. That helps people. It gives them something to connect with. We talked last month, one of the videos last month, if you missed the whole series, was all about how do you get people to comment and engage on your stuff. So if you missed any of those videos and you want it, just type November in the comments and I will send you all of the videos from November. It was all on how do you get people to show up to your lives, how do you get them to comment on your lives, how do you get them to comment on your posts, etc. This was in your space. Now we're talking about somebody else's space. And it's the same. It's the same kind of activities, okay? So give them something that makes them go, oh, I have that same thing. I like that too. That's what you're trying to achieve, okay? Yes, you are sharing your expertise, who you are, who you help, what you do, but an intro post is not a pitch. That doesn't mean that people won't reach out and do business with you. It means that the objective is to just say, hi, here's who I am, here's what I do. I would love to make friends. I would love to have you follow me. I would love to connect with you. That's your kind of call to action, if you will, on an intro post, okay? You also want to make sure that you add engagement. Remember, if you don't give them something to engage on, they're not going to comment. So you have to ask them a question. You have to ask them to share something, and that starts that algorithm ball going. The more people that comment on your post, then that post is shown to more people. So give them something fun to comment on. Ask them a question that's relevant to you and what you do. You'll be in business with your intro post. Okay. Now, the last thing here, and you're going to hear me repeat this throughout this live, is that you want to be relevant to the audience you're speaking to. So if all the groups that you are in, let's say you're in 5 groups and all 5 of those groups are all kind of the same audience doing the same thing, then you're probably fine. But if you are in very specific groups, then you want to make sure that whatever you're sharing is relevant to that group. So I know sometimes it's easy to fall into this trap of I'm going to create this post and then I'm going to post it in 5 different groups. That only hurts you because oftentimes your audience is in multiple of those spaces. They're going to see that you're just dumping it in multiple places. And the algorithm looks at it and says, this is not original content. She posted the same thing in 5 places. So be relevant to that audience. So for example, if you're posting in this group, which is all about getting visible, video, social media, Facebook groups, tie it into that. If you can't tie your business into what that group is, tie it into who the ideal client is in that group. So if this group is full of entrepreneurs, make sure that you're talking about entrepreneurialism and how that ties into what you do. Hopefully that makes sense on the relevance. Okay, let's shift and let's talk about a value post, okay? Again, it depends on the group, but oftentimes groups will allow you to post value posts unlimited. There's no restrictions. A value post is where you share something without expecting anything back. You are just sharing value. You're giving a tip. You're giving them some insight. You are inspiring them or motivating them without the expectation of anything back. You can't promote. You can't do links. You usually can't even generate links or pitch people in the comments, or you're going to get booted out of that group. This is your opportunity to connect with the users in that group in a different way. It's how you are seen as an expert or an authority. Okay, but what I want you to understand here is this is a cold audience to you if you're just getting started. They don't know you. So it's not the same content you're posting in your group. You want to start with the very beginning, the very basics, and connect with them that way. Okay, so here are some tips around value posts. Let's switch. Value posts solve a common problem that your ideal client has. Almost like you're going to call out to your ideal clients inside this group and say, do you have this problem, or do you want this solution? Do you desire this result? Here's a quick tip on how to get you started. Again, I'm giving freely. I have no expectations of something back. I'm just giving helpful advice or insight or tips. But I'm solving a problem so that the users or the members who see that post go, she's kind of cool. I kind of like her. I might follow her. That's your objective here. Your objective is to get them to comment, to ask questions, and ultimately to click that button and follow you or come over and join your group. That's what you're trying to achieve, okay? You can also try to give them a small win. I've talked about this in previous videos. Your objective is to make sure that you're giving them a little nugget that they can do something with. If they don't see it as valuable, they're not going to want to watch the rest of your videos. They're not going to want to look at your other posts, okay? So the key word in here is value. Give them some sort of small win. And again, here's that key word, be relevant. Be relevant to that audience in that group. Okay, if you got questions on intro posts or value posts, let me know, okay? Just to be clear, in this community, you can do an intro post once a month. You can do a value post every day if you want to, but no promoting. And unless you are a member in the Visibility League, it is subject to approval, okay? So you gotta wait for me to approve it inside this post. Okay, good? Everybody good? All right. If you got questions, let me know. Let's shift and talk about, oh, by the way, here's a value post. Usually I would recommend a photo, not a graphic, for the same reasons before. Some sort of interesting photo. And again, the text that you're sharing is something that helps them. There's no promoting, there's no pitching, there's no buy this, there's no nothing. It's just I'm giving you a tip, some insight, something you can learn from. Okay, now let's move on to engagement posts, okay? An engagement post also typically allowed in groups because they want more engagement in their communities. This is where you start a conversation or you ask some sort of juicy question that's irresistible that they can't help themselves. Oftentimes, these are color block posts. I'll show you what one looks like here in a second. Actually, here, let me show you. This is an example of an engagement post. We'll come back to that, but I just wanted you to understand what we're talking about here, okay? So your objective here is to get people to comment and share. And if you are asking fun, irresistible questions, they can't help themselves, you're going to get a lot of comments. That's what your goal is, okay? Open-ended questions work best. I would also tell you easy questions work best. This is not the opportunity to go deep and have this really deep philosophical, heavy thinking kind of thing. Your audience, they're just scrolling on their phone on their sofa. They don't want heavy thinking. They aren't going to give you that much attention, especially in somebody else's post. Okay? So think fun, light, easy, open-ended. Irresistible is the key. Okay, I'm sure you've all either done posts or seen posts or you're commented on posts when it's just, I can't help myself but contribute. That's what you're trying to achieve. What kind of question can you ask this audience who's never met you, doesn't know you, that's going to get them to comment on your post? And then the fun happens in the comments. You're sparking their curiosity. Who is this? Who is this person? What is this question? I want to participate. We're all in groups because we want to be a contributing member of that group. We don't join groups because we want to be pitched at or sold to or any of that, right? So that's the power of engagement questions, okay? You are giving them an opportunity to share. We all want to share. That's why we're on social media. I want to share my life. I want to share my opinions. I want to share my thoughts. So the engagement posts allow you to do that. You give them space. You're creating space for them to share. Now let's talk about this last thing, and that is, should the question be personal or professional? Okay, so the example that I've got here for you was personal. Is your Christmas tree up? Is it real or artificial? Okay, that has nothing to do with my business. I don't sell Christmas trees. But it is a connection point. It is an irresistible question that people want to share. They want to share their post of their tree because they're so proud of it. They've got an opinion. Oh, it must be real. They'll tell you their stories. This is what you're trying to achieve. Okay? If this is a group, if you are new to this group or you're new to posting in this group, start with some personal ones first. Then move to ones that are more about your particular niche. Okay? You're doing these kinds of questions, these personal fun questions, only for engagement, only for comments. As you start to shift and you ask a question like this that's more about what you do and what your space is all about, now you're going to get fewer people that will comment. It's just the way that it is. But those people who comment are more your ideal client. Okay? All right. Any questions about engagement posts? Okay? As I said before, you got to watch the rules in other people's groups. Every group is different, what they allow, what they don't allow, okay? But the most important thing outside of the rules is make sure that when you are doing engagement posts, where's my thing? Be ready to respond to those comments. If you're asking people to share, then you want to comment on their comments. Ask them additional questions or thank them or have some sort of back and forth in the comments. If you ignore those comments, how are those people going to feel? They're going to feel like they weren't heard. Like I'm commenting on your post and I'm not getting anything back. So if I'm feeling that way, I'm not going to engage on more stuff of yours. So this is important. So if you're going to post an engagement post in somebody else's group, post it on a day and a time where you have the availability to respond and react to those comments. If you're super busy, if Thursday is a super busy day for you, that's not the day to do an engagement post, because you're not there to respond. Here's what happens with the algorithm, okay? As people comment on your post, if you are responding to those comments in a timely fashion, it doesn't need to be like instantaneous, right? But within an hour, then the algorithm goes, ooh, this is a good, valuable post. I'm gonna show it to more people. So be intentional about when you post these so that you make the most of it, okay? Now, here's a good question for you. Should you answer your own engagement question? What do you all think? Give me a yes or a no. Should you comment on your own post and give an answer to the question that you asked? What do we think? Yes or no? While you're thinking of that, I'm going to scroll and make sure I haven't missed any questions that have come up. Okay, there was a question earlier from Christine about how do you do graphics? So when I think about graphics, for the most part, those are things that you create in Canva. Canva is a free app. They have unlimited templates that you can change out photos and all that kind of stuff. Primarily, that's what most people use to create graphics. Okay. Oh, good. Some of you are asking for past videos. I love it. I love it. Okay. Okay. You guys say, yep. Answer those questions? Sure. Yes. Yep. Okay. I would tell you the answer is yes. I just wouldn't be first. Okay. So wait until you have a couple of people answer the question and then you can answer the question. People want to read your answers. They want to know what you think. It's kind of reciprocal, right? You ask them to share. So now you're going to share. People want to know what you think to that same question. Okay. But what can happen if you are first, and I have no proof that this is an algorithm thing, no proof, but sometimes I suspect it is. I notice that when I go in and I immediately answer my own question, that post doesn't get the same reach as when I let some people comment and I respond to their comments and then I post. The other thing that I think can happen is if you do a color block post and then you're the only one that engages on that post, it doesn't look very good. Now, maybe you don't care. If that's the case, go for it. And I applaud you for being true to yourself and being like, I don't care what people think. But the smarter play is let a couple of people answer that question, respond to their comments, and then post your answer. Okay? Okay. Let's talk about promotional posts. So these are posts where you are specifically promoting something, yourself, working with you, the solutions, the results that you get people. It could be a specific sale or coupon or link, or it could even be a freebie or join my Facebook group, anything that is promotional in nature. Promotional posts are usually not allowed in a whole lot of groups. They are usually very limited and controlled. One, because you don't want a whole lot of promoting going on, right? Nobody wants to be in a Facebook group just to be promoted to. That's not a very great environment. So if you are this is a common mistake that people make, is they join a group, somebody else's group, and whether they pay to promote or they're just in that group, and the only kinds of posts that they put in there are promotional in nature. This is why you're not getting results, because the algorithm isn't going to serve you well, and the people in that community are going to be like, she's just in here to promote. Nobody wants to be pitched at, okay? So you want to mix this up a little bit. Don't just promote. In the places where you can promote, again, every group is different, right? Here are some kind of call outs for you. Switch this, okay? Obviously check the rules. I already talked about that. Give value. Even in that post, give value. What do I mean by value? What do you think I mean? When I say give value first, or when you see hosts in groups say you can promote, but you got to give value first, what does that mean? Anybody have a guess? What do you think? Okay, I see, Kim, I see your note about slides. These aren't slides. This is just, these are just banners. So I don't have like a downloadable file that I can get you. So I would recommend that you take notes on these, go back through and rewatch the video and jot them down. I will do a recap. Those of you that are on my email list, I'll give you a recap. So you'll get just a written recap of that. If you're not on my email list and you want to be, reach out to me and I'll get you on it. But this isn't a slideshow that I can download and give you. It's just a recording. Okay. Although, you know what I might be able to do? I wonder if I could, let me see what I can do. I might be able to use AI to do a recap summary, and then I can give you the recap summary. We'll see if that works. No promises, but I'll try. Okay. So what do you think value first means? What do you think value first means? Let me check, see what answers you're giving me. Okay, there's another question in here. Let me come back to your question, Sherry. I want to stay on this point, or otherwise I'll lose it. Don't let me forget. Okay, nobody has answers on this value first. Okay, so it can mean one of two things. Some groups will not let you do a promotional post if you've not done a value post first. And that doesn't mean in the history of time. It means usually in the same day or in the same week. So again, check the rules, ask the admin what the rule is, okay? What I'm talking about here is in the post itself, okay? If I were to just post in your group, let's say I come into your group, and right out of the bat, I'm saying, all right, everybody, come and join my Facebook group. Come on over. I want you to come join my Facebook group. As the host, how are you feeling right now? As the members, how are you feeling right now? Especially if you have loyalty to that host. Not very good, right? Also, nobody wants to be pitched to. Okay, so if you can, in that post, and I'm specifically talking about the description, the text that goes with the photo, the graphic, the whatever it is that you're sharing, give them some of that stuff that we talked about in the value posts. Share with them and give them some insights. Give them a little tip. And then pitch whatever you're going to pitch. Just make sure they're connected, right? If I am giving you a tip on how to tie your shoes and then my pitch is come and join my group, it's all about handbags, you're going to go, what? Why did we tie shoes? Like this is, it doesn't make sense. But instead, if I'm wanting you to come over to my group, which is all about handbags, I might give you a tip that talks about, here's a quick tip on how to clean your handbag. If you want more tips like this, come and join my Facebook group. See how that works? So that's what value first means. And relevance. Once again, that word relevance is coming up because it's important. If I am going into a group of men, and let's say it's a men's group or it's mostly men, and I am saying, hey, I have a Facebook group about handbags. Here's how you clean your handbags. Are any of those men going to care? Maybe a few. It just depends, right? But you see what I mean by relevance? So whatever tips you're sharing, whatever value you're giving, even whatever you're promoting, tie it into what that audience member means, what they want, what they desire. Why are they in this group? Make sure that there's a connection there. Okay, now back to Sherry's question. Hold on here. Okay, I'll come back to this. Okay, so Sherry's question. Oh, come on. I'll just leave that up. I'm going to come back to this. I promise. Okay, Sherry's question was, if you post on your profile and lots of people comment with, say, common courtesy, can you thank them all instead of individual comments? Okay. If your post, here, hold on. Let me get rid of these. I hate that that's on screen. Hold on here. Sherry, I still haven't got eCam down. Can you tell? Okay. If you are doing a post, and let's say it is happy birthday to my granddaughter. You like this, Sherry? Talk about relevance, right? I'm doing it right now. Today is Sherry's granddaughter's first birthday. Yay! Okay, so let's say, Sherry, you are posting pictures of your granddaughter, and everybody comments, oh my gosh, she's so cute, oh, she's so awesome, oh, she's so... Yes, you don't want to respond to all of those people, especially when it's on a personal post like that. You don't need to do that, okay? The other thing that I will tell you, and I'm going to ruffle feathers here. I'm going to tell you in advance, I'm ruffling feathers in advance, okay? If you respond to everybody who comments, and a lot of those people are your best friend, friend from church, they're not your ideal clients, you confuse the algorithm. If you instead like or love your friends and family, and the people who you're like, ooh, I don't know who this person is. This is a new friend. She's commenting on this. You're going to take the time to comment on that person for sure, because that tells the algorithm these are the people that you want to be connected with. See how that works? Okay, now let's say your post, because this is all about posting in other people's group. Let's say you post in other people's group and it is your intro post. Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm a video and growth coach. I once took a year off to RV, whatever I'm saying in there, right? And I'm going to get a whole bunch of people that comment and connect. You bet your butt I'm going to comment and respond to every single person. Yes. Because that is where the magic happens. Okay? Yes, it's an intro post, but these are people you are meeting for the very first time. You want to take the time. It doesn't have to be immediate. You could take a week to get through all of those comments and respond back. But you want to respond back and give them a really good comment. Ask them some sort of question. Start a dialogue with all of those people. Okay? That's why, once again, I want to be active in these other communities, but I don't want to be so active that I cannot keep up with the activities that are required to make sure that the algorithm spins, okay? You're not just going into these other groups to get more people. You're going into these groups to get the right people and connect with them. And you won't know if you connect with them if you don't take the time to comment. Good question. Oh my gosh, good question, Sherry. Okay, let me see if there's any other questions. Hold on here. Okay. All right. When you are posting in your group and in other groups, stories work. Stories sell. Tell more stories. I'm not talking about a novel inside your post, but a little bit of a story. Stories connect us. They pull us in. They engage us. They resonate more. So any chance you can in the post you're doing in other people's group is tell a little bit of story. Okay? Again, it doesn't have to be long, just a little bit. Okay? Now, the other thing I want to touch on here, and then we'll wrap up and see if you got any other questions, is you want to rotate these types of posts in somebody else's group. So here's my recommendation for you to get started. Okay? In a month, we're in the first week of December, do your intro post. Week 2 of the month, do a value post. Week 3, do an engagement post. Week 4, do a promotional post. Now remember, follow the rules. Every group's different here, okay? If you can, you don't have to do this at this, I can't see, I need new glasses. The little buttons are too small. Okay, you don't have to go a week. You can do a couple of days in between, okay? But if you're going to be somebody who says, I'm gonna post every single day, make sure that you have the time and the availability to respond in the comments. If you do not, stretch that out and rotate this every couple of days. But this is a really good rotation to get into, right? Obviously, in some groups, you can't do an intro every single month. So that might take it off. So then just rotate between the value, engagement, promote, value, engagement, promote. But don't forget, those promotional posts should still have value and engagement in them. Okay, what questions do you have for me? Next week, while you're thinking of questions, next week we're going to shift this focus and we're going to move from talking about other people's group and we're going to talk about your own group and what you should be posting in your own group. Then we will move on the 19th. Where is it? On the 19th, we will be in Zoom. We will be doing Grow and Monetize Your Facebook Group. This is a 90-minute workshop, completely free. Come and learn how to grow and monetize your Facebook group. This is a free 90-minute session. There is a link. I will get you the link. I'll send it out an email. There will be posts in this group. I'll drop it in the comments as well. In fact, if you're sitting there going, I want to register right now, type the word monetize in the comments and I will make sure that you have the link to register. Okay? But we're going to focus on what are the activities that you can do to grow your group and how do you monetize your group? What do I mean by monetize? How you make money. How do you make money? Okay, that is the goal. All right, now, see if you got any questions. I am not seeing any questions. I'm gonna wait just a second, just in case. Just in case. You got them. Show me the money, Sherry says. Exactly. Exactamundo. Okay, your call to action today, other than register for the workshop and come and join us. And come next week too when we switch and we talk about what do you post in your own group. I want you to do those things as well. But your call to action today, right now, here's what I want you to do. In the comments, I want you to commit to posting in my group, inside this group, Get Visible, this week. Okay? Are you going to do an intro post, a value post, or an engagement post? We're not doing promo posts because promo posts aren't going to be approved unless you are part of my paid membership, okay? So I want you to answer. Are you going to do an intro post, an engagement post, or a value post? Type it in the comments. That is your commitment. That's you saying, I'm going to take action. Don't just want you to come to these lives and learn and be like, oh, that's such great information. I want you to do it. So you're going to do it in my group, okay? Which one are you going to do? Drop some comments. Let's see. Okay. I'm waiting on this. I'm waiting on this. Questions and call to action. Which type of post are you committing to do? Okay, Lori said engagement post. I think I did an intro post already. Great. Remember, in this group, you can do an intro post once a month. Just saying. So I think I did one when I first joined the group. Doesn't matter. Every month you can do an intro post. Okay. Sherry's going to do an intro post. I like it. All right. Stephanie Lee is going to do a value post. Okay, this is a really good question, okay? So she's saying, I did a post on my personal page. Can I post it in this group? Okay, let's talk about that. There's an option that you have to share a post into a group. I would not recommend that you do that, okay? So again, if I stack rank all of the different types of posts, unfortunately, shares are down at the bottom. But what you can do is repurpose what you posted on your personal profile. So the same photo, the same graphic. If you have the opportunity to take the graphic and just change it up a little bit, that only helps because Facebook prioritizes original content. If it sees that you posted the exact same photo in multiple places, your reach is not going to be as high, okay? The only other thing I would say is take a look at the text of the post Is it relevant to the group you're posting in? Okay, so I know Stephanie quite well, and I know that she is a healthy weight loss behavior coach, okay? And she does lots of great things, like I love her yoga challenges, and I could go on and on, but I'm not going to, okay? So she probably, I'm guessing Stephanie, posted on her personal profile to her audience and talked about it in a certain way, okay? Now she's wanting to post that same thing, that same value post in a group that's full of entrepreneurs and coaches. I want it to be more relevant. So tie whatever the point of that post is into this audience, right? So this audience is all about visibility. Can you tie it into visibility? This group is all about getting leads, growing their business. Okay, can you tie that in some way? Okay, this is when that creative thinking comes in. And that is why every Thursday we do improv to practice those skills. So if you've not seen an improv post, type improv in the comments. I'll get you a link. I cannot remember what this week's improv post is. I can't remember what it is. I had it pre-scheduled. So it's a good way to get that creativity going. So hopefully, Stephanie, that answers your question on yes, you can, but I would recommend you make a couple of tweaks. Okay. Danny is going to do value educational. Awesome. Rachel's doing an intro post. Kim's doing an intro post. Awesome. Okay. So you guys now have a plan. The whole goal of today and everything that we've talked about, where did it go? Is how do you make the most of posting in other people's groups? Here is the big tip. I should have started with this. You have to do it. Commenting alone isn't going to get you as visible as posting. Now, I will tell you, it is sometimes a pain in the butt to understand and follow the rules. But it is worth it because this is how you really, truly connect with more people. Okay? This is how you start to make the most. This is how you get results by being in other people's Facebook groups. Take advantage of any and all opportunities that are out there in the groups that you are in. Being in other people's Facebook groups is an excellent way to get people, it's called borrowing an audience, to get them to come over and start following you. I see posts all the time that say Facebook groups are a gold mine. Yep, they are, if you're doing it right. Other people's Facebook groups can also be a gold mine. So don't miss out on this kind of opportunity. All right, guys, thanks for being here. See you next week. Bye.